So let's get started. I'm recording for YouTube as well. I do have some YouTube related stuff to cover. Why am I talking to her? We talk to you. Sure, that'll do. Garly Meadow when we get the soldiers. This is the soldier, right? Yeah, probably. To start with is not too bad. On a... yeah, there we go, procced. On a Skul related note, the next update has not released at time of us doing this, obviously. But they have, as of 10 this morning, done a big kind of like write-up of what they have planned for their next update. It's a very experimental update. They're changing a lot of fundamentals of the game, which is quite surprising. They're rebalancing all the skulls, all the items, making everything stronger apparently. So I think they want the game to flow a little easier maybe. Or be a little easier, because then once they add other areas, the difficulty will be more of a curve rather than like a sharp incline, as it is now, like when you get to the sewer area. They're also removing like all the different damage types, and they're just having physical and magic. What else are they doing? They're also making it a bit more traditional roguelike, where when you finish a room, you get a choice of 2 doors to go through. So you can customize if you get an item room or a shop or other stuff. I don't know how comprehensive it is, they just have like a little screenshot and a little blurb, but it sounds interesting. But they are noting, again, that it's going to be a very experimental update, so there may be good things with it, there may be bad things with it. We won't know until it happens. There's no specific date other than coming very soon. If it launches by the end of the week, we'll probably end up playing it more, because I'm very curious. If you want to read all the changes they have planned, it's in their most recent update. I think those are the major ones, though, the ones I just mentioned there. They want combat to feel more frenetic, I think. Yeah, we were discussing the changes they have planned for a big experimental update. It's not happened yet. But it will. Will this do more damage? We'll give it a go. It's not got an offensive technique, it's only got a back flip thing. Don't really know what that is. It's got good iframes on it though. I do not approve of you returning to Overwatch from a moral point of view. There's free rip-offs you could play if you're after the game type. I don't think they mentioned adding new skulls in the update now. Just reconfiguring of all the current ones. I feel like I'm doing less damage. We shall stick with the bog standard soldier for now. If anyone wants to check if I missed any kind of like big points, as I say, it's the most recent update on their Steam page. Thank you, Hero Caden, for 10 month streak with 21 in total with your Twitch Prime, which might be available to other people. He just read Batman last night on Earth this weekend. Thanks for mentioning it. I really enjoyed it. You're welcome. I hope you did. Or I'm glad you did, rather, because you said you did. If you're a fan of that art style that's used in it, a good portion of the New 52 run was done by that writer and that artist combined. Which I am a fan of. I like that art style. I couldn't possibly tell you what the artist's name is. The writer is something Snyder. Scott Snyder? It's not Zack. It's not the movie guy. James Snyder? Something like that. But the artist I could not tell you. Looks like he... It is Scott? Okay. I knew it was something like that. Don't really need that. No free skull. Well, we are using a skeleton soldier, so I think it might be... Oh! Thank you. This just... I'm saying thank you to the game. It just reminded me they're also increasing the number of items you can hold from 6 to 9. So you can customize yourself a bit more with more items. I wouldn't say I like that it forces you to make a choice by only giving you 6. It'll be interesting to have that more space to play with. Free item room as well. It's not good, but we'll take it. It feels like your chest is spinning. Do you mean your stomach? Like churning? Because if so, I'm right there with you. I'm waiting for confirmation. That's okay, take your time. Hello, Risen. More akin to when your foot is asleep and it won't wake up. Yeah, but that's not a nice thing to joke about. Oh, they're also going to make it so that there's more reason to change skulls mid-fight as well. I think much like me, nobody bothers, really. One more space. I will take it instead of the thief just because I think it's a soldier as well.
A gift for you.
Thank you, an anonymous gifter, for gifting a tier 1 sub to Sly Thief. It definitely isn't Zeppel, he's not got 2 pennies to rub together. Someone is absolving him of his sin. Does that sad face mean it was you? No? Oh, the mean joke made you sad face. I see. I mean, he really should, but then I wouldn't get any because I can't afford to. Speaking of which, we've got to pay for house repairs just under $2,000, but that's a different story for later on. That's what I did on my day off, found out I had to pay that. First of all, YouTube stuff then, to actually get a conversation going, because I think the Skul videos are amongst, you know, relatively speaking, the most watched things of the stuff I put over to YouTube. There's a few days where there's just one video going live, there might be some days coming soon where there's no videos going live. It's just because I don't have anything to bring over. Been replaying a bunch of Resident Evil games that have obviously already got playthroughs. The Batman games we've been replaying, they already have playthroughs, there's nothing new, so there's just really Skul, occasional Apex. Resident Evil 6, again, because I haven't played that since launch, but after that's done, maybe the original 3, if we get the emulation working, if I mean PS1, not an emulator. But what I'm saying is, it's not that I've stopped, it's just that it will slow down if I have nothing to put over. I'm not going to, like,
a gift for you.
Put across, you know, the umpteenth playthrough of a Batman game. So if there's a slowdown in videos on YouTube 1, that is why. Thank you, Cyblade, for gifting a tier 3 sub to MKT13. I hope you actually meant to press that. Hey, when I was a kid, I played on my Atari just fine, thank you. A dwarf? That skills, or that thing is called dwarf? You're not allowed to be at Workland? Honestly, that's the safest thing. You did do a tier 3 on purpose? Well, enjoy your new fancy ass emotes. Does damage over time. Okay, we'll give it a go on enemies. Is this more powerful than the soldier getting the damage buff? I'm not sure. It might be comparable. It feels weightier though because he's slower. The other thing I forgot to mention is it's been like 2 weeks since I meant to talk about the encouragement for doing an experiment on YouTube 1 with the Skul videos and others. Hello Magpie. When we talked about maybe leave a bit more comments, like videos, just to see if it makes any difference to the YouTube algorithm, because I'd heard from other YouTubers that it does again. I don't think it's made any difference whatsoever. Well, it's not made any difference to the discoverability of the videos in which they have been getting more. I wouldn't say they've been getting a crap ton more. Like that first Skul video where I talked about it got like 4 times the normal amount of likes it would normally get, which is a big difference. It didn't seem to make any difference to the discoverability of those videos, but it seemed to ease off whatever restrictions YouTube has in place for my older videos still appearing in search rankings. Because I'm convinced a lot of my older videos just don't appear in searches that are still populated, like people searching for anime, video games, and even the Overwatch ones, honestly. So the only change I noticed was some of my older videos that already have a crap ton of views started getting new comments on them again. Which has been a while since that happened. Now that could be a coincidence. It could also just be something else that YouTube changed that happened to affect that, who knows. But that's the only change I noticed. Hello, Voice Sergeant. You've been getting your older videos, my older videos, recommended to you much more. That implies to me that YouTube's been mucking around with the algorithm in the background again, more so than anything I've particularly done. But if it means like the hidden trust stat for my channel has gone up ever so slightly, that would be nice. Doesn't help with any of the newer stuff, which, granted, doesn't have a massive audience appeal on YouTube anyway, since it is just stuff recorded on Twitch. I barely ever even bother doing thumbnails anymore because I put that effort into YouTube too. Well, I say effort. I still don't make good thumbnails, but it's a little bit easier when I can just take pictures of my miniatures, and then at least it rides or dies by those. They're smacking the YouTube machine with a wrench to see what happens. They stole my strat. I didn't use my RB once there, did I? I forgot I had it. Oh, anxiety gets away in a hell of a lot of stuff. Especially when you're having an IBS flare-up. Like on the latter half of... Is it Leroy Jenkins also? What day was it? It wasn't Sunday. It must have been Saturday. Like the latter half of Saturday's stream, I was in agony by the end of it. And decided not to bother mentioning it. Wasn't so bad on Sunday, but still, I'm starting to think it wasn't those brioche buns last week. I think it's just an IBS flare-up with atypical symptoms. Melee attack increased by 10%. I think what I have is bear. Yeah. Hello, Ty. Crit there for 135. And that was without the buff. I like the downward attack of this skull. It's okay, it's just a little slow. Which I'm pretty sure was my school report when I was younger. So anyway, my day off, I didn't do that much with it. I painted a T-Rex, which is pretty cool. But I finally heard back from the roofers. I had the roofers visit to fix my guttering in the hopes that would fix the damp and potential leaks I was seeing. And they go back to... Oh, the Groot. Power and power? Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, that might be a better skill as well. So they go back to me to say the actual problem with the house is not the roof. And I'm a little annoyed that this was not in the home buyer's report. And the roof potentially needing patched up, which it did, obviously was. But there wasn't anything about the rough casting on the side of the house being so bad there's a gap between it and the wall, letting water through. The roofer said he was amazed the damp wasn't worse than it is. So I still don't know the exact bill, but the roofer said expect it to be in the region of £1,800. Half of that is because they need to pay for scaffolding, and scaffolding is expensive. In case you're curious, the builders I got to fix the roof when some tiles fell off, they did not charge that much because they didn't use scaffolding, they just used ladders. So they're taking their own safety into their own hands, but it also makes them very cheap. But this is a job where you can't do it without scaffolding. Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. I should have done that. It does also mean that depending on how long the work will actually take once it starts, because it has to be done, it might interrupt my ability to record YouTube 2 videos for a few days, which is the other part of the YouTube news. But I don't know, basically. Depends if they're having to drill or whatever. But yeah, having suddenly to have a bill for 1,800 quid is not great. Thankfully, a lot of people were generous on my birthday, which will help. Still sucks though, but it's not something that can be ignored because in the long run it could severely damage the house. Okay, this head is not good for this boss. This one is though. But actually, they both kind of had the same downward attack, that's not good. We got a crit there, no? I don't remember if it was Friday, Saturday or Sunday, but we were having a conversation about you should always make sure you're covered by like a month, and I said no, make sure you've got at least 3 months coverage. And it's because of situations like these that you do that sort of thing. Yep, that is the potential downside of owning rather than renting. So that kind of put a damper on my day off, and the things I wanted to do basically just turned into paint to ignore crippling IBS pain made worse by anxiety. So I didn't really do much. I was going to watch Harley Quinn Season 1 on Amazon, whatever it's called. Harley Quinn the animated series, I don't know. For like 13 quid, it's on UK Amazon, the first season. I decided to watch some clips on YouTube first. And the animation looks good. It made me laugh. I watched like a couple of compilations of like funny moments. The voice acting seemed largely okay. I didn't like Joker's voice at all, but that's neither here nor there. The thing I didn't like is how much swearing is in it and how much they rely on swearing being the humour. And that put me off watching it. Now that might be down to the people who made the compilations just being immature. But when every punchline to the joke is someone saying fuck or shit, it lost me a little bit. Because it's kind of, it makes it appear like, and this again might just be because of the compilations I watched, it makes it appear like the people who are watching it were like, yeah, look, we're a cartoon that can swear, because that wasn't done 20 years ago. And sometimes they ruin really good jokes with swearing to be the punchline. Like, for instance, Commissioner Gordon is just like doing cop analogies and ranting at Harley Quinn, who's been captured by Batman, and is just going absolutely insane, and Harley calls him insane. He's like, I'm not insane. And then he keeps on like just saying these bizarre cop analogies at her, and Batman's like, Jim, calm down. And that's funny. And then Harley Quinn kind of motions towards Batman and says, as sure as I am that this guy fucks bats, you're crazy. And that's, they've ruined it. They've ruined the moment by doing that. And there was way too much of that type of stuff, so I got put off. I do love that the Bane sounds like Tom Hardy Bane though, that is wonderful. That's Penny from The Big Bang Theory voicing Harley. She only has an accent like every 5th line, which is very strange. And there's some fantastic jokes that don't have swearing, like with Bane. Like, they have like Family Guy-esque cutaways. It's like, oh, Bane only decided to blow up a stadium because he lost at, I don't know, a pub quiz. And then it cuts to him getting a question wrong and getting embarrassed, saying, I'm going to blow up the stadium. And then they do the comedy thing of bringing it back later because he gets embarrassed at a bar mitzvah. And then he says, I'm going to blow up this bar mitzvah. That's funny. They need more of that. Which they probably do have, but the incessant amount of swearing. They put me off. Bane does like blowing stuff up, yes, it's kind of his thing. Also, hey, we haven't used this skull in like forever. I wouldn't say it's my favourite, but it's powerful. So then I had another plan to distract myself from the horrible bill I have to pay. And I decided, well, I'll go double check on Netflix. Do they have Shazam? Do they have Aquaman? Because people kept on saying, oh, you should watch those. Didn't have either of them, so I was like, nuts to, I'll see if I can watch them on Amazon. And I was gonna, but then I saw I can buy a Blu-ray of Shazam on Amazon Prime and Aquaman for quite considerably less than they're currently streaming it for at less quality. So I was like, well, why would I pay to watch it once when I can buy a Blu-ray for cheaper and have it in better quality forever? So I didn't watch either of them on my day off, but I did order both of them, and they arrived today. I have them next to me, but I haven't had time to watch them. So I think tomorrow, well, actually, yeah, I did recording for YouTube too today, so tomorrow I will probably watch Shazam. And then report back. Don't know when I'll find time for Aquaman. That'd be like a next day off type affair, we'll see. Because again, once I know when the builders are coming, I want to maybe try and get some YouTube 2 stuff done. I'm really looking forward to something's arriving tomorrow that will let me finish the little table I've been building. That's why I was working on the T-Rex as well. I can just leave? Oh, no I can't. If I was using a faster skull, I would have been able to. Our health is actually dangerously low just because no enemies have been dropping health. We've been rolling bad on all the options, or all the chances. And we got a bad mix of heroes. They really need to fix this guy because he's annoying. Oh, he can actually be stunned. Jesus, doing like no damage. You know what? Let's try this and see if it does more. He had his shield wall.
None of this matters.
Thank you, none of your business, for donating $314.56. Who are you? Something to help, maybe? I'm gonna Batman the shit out of this to work out who you are. Who types like that? Who would use none your business? See, my guess would be Valinar, and he is on pain medication, so he would do something stupid like give me that much money. Valinar, was that you? Oh, I'm still here. He sent my skull flying, so I was confused. So, well, this is a terrible run now, because Death Defy just got wasted and there's no way to replenish it. Because I was slightly distracted. That is a big help, though. But needless to say, it will definitely go to the roof. It will not go to anything else. I have nothing else I desire other than to have my roof stop leaking. Now, he didn't reply in chat when I guessed it was him. Maybe Valinar's secretly rich. Maybe it was a mistake because there's an alert for 314. Look, if somebody did accidentally just give me 10 times as much than they were supposed to. Sorry, not even 10 times as much. 100 times as much. You can let me know privately. I won't tell anyone. And I'll give you it back. No issues. No questions asked. Isn't going to be damage. He was here. He was at the top. He's hiding. He's hiding his tracks. See, the benefit of deliberately making a named assumption or a named guess is even if I'm wrong and it isn't him, it might trick the person who did create a dummy account to send that into revealing themselves because they don't want someone else taking the credit. Yeah, why the 56? Almost like it was in euros? What would that be in euros? No, but then it wouldn't say dollars, I think. How much is that in euros? Oh! You can double punch that. Wait, you're right, it is pi. 3.14156. Wait, 3.141592654. Yes, that's pi. I say that right? I'm just going to know my OCD now. 3.141592654. Yes. I memorized pi in school. Because I'm a nerd. Although it's been a little while since I've recited it. 2793 euros? Okay, that's not a meme number, so that doesn't make sense. It's weird, he didn't get interrupted. Yeah, you're right, it is pi. And clearly the person didn't want themselves identified, so I don't know. Oh, don't stand still! I was looking at my phone. I was looking at my phone because obviously they would have to have an email address, so I wanted to know what that was. Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Oh no, it does! I recognize that name, but I don't know. I don't remember from where. Okay, via the email, I now know who it is. I just don't remember who they are. Like, it says their real name, but I'm obviously not going to give the real name because that's doxing. But I recognize the name. I don't remember specifically whom. But also, that has to be a coincidence then. No, but it can't be because it's pi. Because the currency they gave in is not dollars. The fact that it's $314 is a coincidence, I think. Alright, either way, I've satisfied myself. I don't specifically remember who it is, I just recognize their name. Thank you again, you're obviously listening. If you did an extra 0 or an extra number by accident, tell me. In private, and we'll get it sorted. And thank you very much. Honestly, Batman probably would have just punched every one of you until one of you fessed up, but, you know. Thank you to House 2 for 12 months in a row with a tier 1 sub. You made it to the theoretical year. Also, I should mention, like, when I first moved in here and my bath split in two, I did do a donation drive on stream. The reason I didn't do anything for these additional roof repairs is, one, it's so expensive, and two, because so many people were generous last week for my birthday stream, I decided I'll just count that because it's all going to the repairs anyway. There ain't no plastic crack that I'm after. They ain't going to anything else. Honestly, there's not even any games coming out. Like, there's Deadly Premonition 2 next month. Other than that, I don't know. I can't think of anything, so it's not like it's going to get spent on anything else. Nor would it in general, but I just mean there's nothing to tempt. That's another reason why there's less stuff going over to YouTube. It's just I'm playing through a bunch of old games. Oops. Although it has been fun going through all the Resident Evils, even though they're, you know, a mixed bag quality-wise. It's still been fun. And going back to the Batman games is always fun as well. I am going to stream Deadly Premonition 2, and we're all going to experience it together. I worry that it can go a few different ways, but it's either going to lean too much into the, oh look at us, we're Twin Peaks weird, or now that it has a budget, it's just not going to be as charming, because a lot of the charm from Deadly Premonition is they were working with nothing. That's why the soundtrack is 3 songs, that's why they use copyright-free sound effects in the game, you know, all the stuff that makes it charming. Damn it. Get up there! I foresee this run ending on the 4-breasted ladies. Fear is one of many emotions you're allowed to experience at the prospect of a new Deadly Premonition, yes. Isn't that right, Zach? They buggered how mods work from the workshop now in XCOM 2. That's unfortunate. I was kind of potentially doing an XCOM 2 with mods playthrough as a summer game because summers are so like void of new releases. But if we get heavy into, like, I don't know how you lot are going to feel once I potentially start playing PS1 games. Like Resident Evil 1 to 3, Suikoden 2, that'll take a while. But it has been many years since I last replayed Suikoden 2. And it is one of it's probably my second favourite JRPG. The first one being Xenogears, but that has not aged well at all. Whereas Suikoden 2, because it does a particular style, if you look past the bad translation, well, it's not got a bad translation, it's just got a... They messed up some stuff when they were translating it to English. There's some bugs. If you ignore that, it really does hold up just because of the visual style it has. Kind of like Arkham Asylum, although they look obviously super different. But I don't know what other PS1 era games I'd be interested in. I'd have to delve into my memory to pick my favourites. But that might be fun to do, those kind of retro things when there's not any new games that are interesting out. Deadly Premonition 2 in July, the Avengers game in September. I can't think of anything else. There's gotta be something, but I don't remember. You know, I've never played Chrono Trigger. I played the sequel, Chrono Cross, which I don't remember anything about. So I guess it didn't leave a lasting memory, good or bad. We might all be dead by September as well, that's true. The second wave's already started. The UK reinfected New Zealand. Oh, actually, I got really mad at a picture I saw on the BBC News website on the weekend about... This isn't about the protest or anything like that, for the record. It was a picture on a story they were doing for, like, the High Street reopening, and it showed massive queues of people ignoring the 2-metre rule to get into Primark. What are you so desperate to get out of a Primark that you're willing to infect yourself for that you can't just order online? Primark sells cheap clothes, in case you aren't aware. That's all they sell, cheap clothes and Tupperware. And there's a picture of like 4 bodies to a line, huge queues to get into Primark. What is wrong with people? Hello, Halo. Well, it was a photo, not like a video, but even if it was from the archive, why would there ever be that kind of queue outside of Primark? They have food. Oh no, they have forced distance. Well, the queue probably exists because in the store they had the restrictions in place. I don't understand why that many people wanted into Primark is all. I guess because they really like Mortarion. Badumch. Primark, sorry, is how it's pronounced. I'm pronouncing it Primark because of the bloody 40k Primarks. They sell cheap clothes. Yeah, Primark is, I believe, how it's correctly pronounced, but force of habit will make me pronounce it Primark for the rest of my life, probably. Tom Mouse Games just tweeted. What are they tweeting about Thanos? They're repainting Thanos. They always say and answering your questions. What they really mean is like they talk about painting. They never ever answer questions about anything that people care about because they're not able to. Yes, bring me Thanos! Someone already made that inevitable joke. Like 4 people did, in fact. Hello, Jacobian. And I suppose we do also have like the stuff we play in Tabletop Simulator that could go over to YouTube too if we play more God Tier and more Marvel. See, the problem with that rather is not only does it just get no views, but it chases away the people who watch live because they don't want to watch us play nerd games. It is a shame, but they're probably more fun in general to play than watch. Although that said, Battle Report channels do. What the hell is that? Onigiri Pyramid. Never seen that food before. We want Nia's heart. Subsequent basic attack inflict crits every 3 seconds. That's pretty good. We're not using the power skull, but we might get one. That makes our damage higher. I think I'm going to stick with what we have for the rest. Bring me any X-Men. I mean, everyone is already assuming at this point that the second starter set is going to be an X-Men themed starter set, but there's been literally nothing to confirm that at all. Just to be clear, literally nothing. I would like some more non-Batman, well, I shouldn't say that because I have plenty, but the painting video, or the painted models update video that went live on Monday was all Batman, and 90% of it was Gotham City Chronicles. So many hired goons. Oh, tomorrow a Crisis Protocol Battle Report is up though. Yeah, I would assume X-Men versus Brotherhood. And then on Friday, a Resident Evil 2 game is up, because I recorded and edited that today. And next on the list, assuming what I'm waiting for arrives tomorrow, and I believe it is because I got a dispatch notification, or a delivery notification, should be some more Batman. With a thematically apt table. You enjoyed the Corval dudes cosplaying as Agent 47? Yeah, I have no idea what those are based on. I've never seen any Corval's comic where they have people who look like that. My Batman comics for this month arrived today though, and it has the Penguin henchman with the net guns in one of the stories, so that's what they're borrowed from. Did we go double speed? I guess, and then we can get rid of the power increase. I don't know if that's better. It's probably not as good as the Ghost Rider. I imagine licensing would be part of the issue because of who owns the X-Men. Oh wait, no, they own it now again, don't they? I don't know, it's all very confusing. Because if Marvel had the X-Men back, they'd be in the cinematic universe. You know, that thing that was amongst the many things killed by the corona. That attack still does nowhere near as much damage as it should. They only bought them 6 months ago? Well, if they have them again, then that's great from both a licensing point of view and a movie point of view. Because the existing X-Men movies weren't great. Well, some of them were okay, but I didn't see Days of Future Past, which is apparently one of the good ones. The Apocalypse one is on UK Netflix, but I heard that was terrible, so I didn't bother with that. Well, you can count the Deadpool movies though, because they're in universe. Deadpool 2 was good. Not as good as the first one, but still good. Back here, healer. How the hell did you heal to full? You don't usually heal that good. Or that well, I should say. You got enough enemies in the room? Games that I find interesting at the PS5 reveal? Oh, that new Batman game. No, just kidding, there wasn't a Batman game. Resident Evil 8. I'm trying to remember what else was even there. The Dishonored Assassination type one? Oh yeah, the Demon Souls remake, yep. There's a couple of the indie ones I like to look up, but I've already forgotten them. No, not the Ratchet and Clanks. I've never played those. Oh yeah, last time we were playing this, we skipped straight to this boss. I forgot about that. I also don't know why my diction was so weird in that sense. No, I'm not interested in Horizon Zero Dawn. The first one is fine as a standalone. I don't want a sequel. Same with The Last of Us. Also, I did a really funny observation about The Last of Us 2 today that doesn't include any spoilers, and I wanted it to do better than it did. I said that everything I've heard about The Last of Us 2's story comes across to me like that joke from the first Austin Powers movie, where the henchman gets run over by the steamroller and then it cuts to his wife and child being told about him being dead. Won't somebody please think about the villains' families? Oh, the new Spider-Man as well, yep. I didn't actually see that trailer live because I missed the start of it because I was in the bath. Oh wait, no, was that the day my bath broke? Yeah, I was trying to fill it and then it was filled with cold water. That's the wrong one. Okay, good. We're killing them very slowly. Probably a mistake. I'm not doing nearly enough damage. Yeah, The Last of Us 2 definitely, well, even ignoring the horrible overworked staff thing, it does come across like a writer high on their own farts. Took a nice deep breath before writing it. But hey, I'm only going by what I've seen and read. It's not obviously the equivalent of playing the game, so... Oh, damn it. They swapped. Maybe it's just that I'm bored of the what if humans were the real monsters. It's like, yeah, I know we're all bad and terrible and shitty, it's fine, you don't need to keep on trying to teach us this. Have you seen the world? Also, The Walking Dead and Attack on Titan did it first. Get her! That's not the wounded one, it's the one in white. That's the wrong one again! I think my defense up in this case. Oh, they still haven't fixed that. I was nowhere near that attack. Annoying. Well, Spec Ops did it better as well, yeah. Although I will say The Last of Us 2 probably plays a lot better than Spec Ops does. It's the worst I've done in this fight, where it's still going. Yes, I would say like calling Spec Ops like a double A is probably fair. Why is she teleporting to the same place every time? She's supposed to teleport where I am. Just got way too much of her health back for how damaged she was when this started. Oh, timed that right. God, you're loving that attack today. Again? Really? Wow. Well, we made it further than I thought we would with this build. Or run, I should say. I think the thing also that makes Spec Ops stand out is it's not really man was the real monster. It's more that war is hell and PTSD is a thing that exists. And war dehumanizes people. Like, it's a very clever way to present it. Ooh, we'll not bother with that. I know it's a weird comparison, but it's kind of like how Night in the Woods is about, like, disassociation with reality and... What is that disorder called? I've forgotten, I'm blanking on it now. Nah, I'm blanking on it. Basically, it's not just like, oh, doesn't everything suck? It's a little bit deeper than that. And even The Last of Us 1 has a lot of... I mean, it is a prime example of humans are the real monsters, the game, but... It presents it in a very well done way, and then they go and ruin it by having to have a sequel. I don't mean the sequel itself, I mean they knew they wanted to do a sequel, so they did a shit ending that utterly ruined the game because Joel has no character. He starts the game as a cynical asshole and he ends the game as a cynical, selfish asshole. I imagine, let's get, is Last of Us 1 and 2 written by the same person? Why am I killing this? You don't need to kill this. I want to believe in the first read of that script, Joel loses his daughter in the intro, but then he willingly gives up his surrogate daughter to save the world. Was probably the ending they were going to do until they thought, well, then you can't really have a sequel. And people will probably really like this Ellen Page stand-in. Except Ellen Page, she's really annoyed about it. But still, so we should probably change the ending so that she lives. Ooh. Hello, I have a bad idea. And Kitty, if I didn't say that already. So we have had this skull before, although I don't think it had that power. It's a cool one. Don't know how good it is, but it's cool. I'm going to check what that other skill does. Skewer enemies in front. Okay. What do the files reveal? That it might not cure the disease? Taking a chance to cure humanity at the cost of one girl is preferable to one selfish asshole murdering all the doctors so they can't follow him and saving the person that he has convinced himself is his daughter even though she isn't. That also feels like something that was added in to like justify his actions because they're so out of character. Like, it really feels like the point of The Last of Us 1 is Joel rediscovering his humanity after being stolen from him by the outbreak. But then it became nothing. And as I say, he starts the game as a cynical, bitter asshole, and he ends the game as a cynical, bitter asshole, and also a murderer. I'm going to give the writer a little bit of credit, even though he does come across like he's a bit of a pretentious twat, because most writers are. I say, having written my share of stuff, although mostly non-fiction, but still. I feel like there was some pressure there for sequel bait. It makes no sense. The way it was all flowing, it feels like it makes sense to go one way, and then all of a sudden, the last hour of the game, it's like, nah, we're going to do this instead. Kind of like how all the Uncharted games, they build the set pieces first and then twist the story to fit around them, which is terrible, incidentally. Also, because some people will care about Last of Us 2 and plan to play it, don't talk about anything specific about that one. I have no problem with you talking about the first one, though. It's been out long enough. And I still stand by the first one being a fantastic game that I'll never play again because it's so depressing, but the ending massively, massively ruined it for me. He kills the doctor so they won't come after him. In fact, I seem to remember specifically saying he has to do it, otherwise they'll chase him. Like, he never even asked Ellie if that's what she wanted to do, and he doesn't know for sure they didn't ask her either. I mean, it's heavily implied they didn't, but still. It's like, I don't like playing as this character I'm playing as anymore. We'll take the grabby hands. And this is going to be tough. Yeah, as I say. Oh, it's that one. I thought it was grabby hands. That's not grabby hands at all. Jesus, they're all doing their ults at the same time. Get out of here. Inflict damage on landing on enemies, increases basic attack by 15. Well, I ain't using the speed skulls, so sure. Yeah, I remembered him saying something like that, Chris. I don't agree it's a callback to the intro. Because the intro is the soldiers containing the outbreak. They have a reason to be doing what they're doing. Thank you, Soulsteel, for 35 months with Twitch Prime. Incidentally, if you really like the ending to The Last of Us, that is absolutely fine. We obviously disagree, but let's not turn this into a Twitter argument, because goddamn am I sick of seeing those. The Alchemist, I think, is a bad skull. I know I haven't used it, but... well, I used it a little bit. I don't think it's very good. Oh right, they exploded. I forgot. Ooh, 2 heals. Very nice. Something is obviously still alive. Why do I always do this? Alright, you know what? This time I'm gonna be... No, if I still be patient though. Get up. Oh, come on. It's impossible. You can't get past it without taking damage. Unless, I guess, you have the double dash. He says he's been on both sides of those traps. As in, he has helped initiate and also been victim to them multiple times. That more implies he's been willing to do whatever he needs to survive, which is again fine because his character arc is supposed to be that he's become a bitter evil asshole and then via a surrogate daughter learns his humanity again and turns good, but he still ends up where he started as a bitter murderer who's a selfish asshole. And that's a very unsatisfying ending. There was no growth, you might as well not bother. Ooh, health. Why are those laser pointers pointing at the summoning pit? I don't know, that's a very good point. So my watch was beeping at me. I believe that Itch.io bundle, if not now, but very soon, is going to end with like 8 million raised, which is fantastic. It's like 1,000 games in that bundle now as well. Yoink. Ooh, another rare one. Has power. Oh, you're gonna do that to me? I mean, I've got it. It doesn't have the really good skill, but that's okay. I will always take a scythe. The bundle is over. What was the final total? Like 8.2, 8.3, something like that? Okay, round it up a little bit, 8.2 million. Hopefully it does some good. Damn, that goes far. I guarantee you most of the people who put into that bundle probably didn't particularly care about the games in the bundle. So let that be a good representation that there is actually such a thing as good people out there. Like for instance, anonymous so-and-sos who help a streamer they like when the rough casting on the side of their house falls off. Or separating. I don't understand building terminology. The average donation was double the minimum. I also paid double the minimum. None of these really do anything. We'll just take our health and leave. Makes you smell bad for 3 maps. Oh. Now I look like how I do in real life. I mean, honestly, $10, $5 if you pay the minimum. Just for Night in the Woods and Oxenfree alone is a fantastic deal. I should always go after the Fire Lady first because she is weak as shit. HP wise, that is. Total Glass Cannon. She spec'd everything into magic. Burn! Yeah, weeb. Ooh, rare chest. Increases skill attack by 30%. Summon a massive vortex? Ooh, he's new. I'll give him a go, just because he's new. Still smell, huh? Oh, that's hurting me. Going for the Toga Steel. I may have been glancing at chat there, which is why I was striking at nothing for a little bit. That was neat. Disintegration came out and Steam reviews are mixed. Which one is that? Is that the one we couldn't remember the name of? And we spent like an hour in Deep Rock discussing the ad that did not do a good job because we couldn't remember its bloody name. Burn! We don't need the Rajang one. Maybe I left one alive. Yes, I did. Oh. Oops. No, we made it to the technically final boss. No death to fire though. I don't think the orb's going to do much to him either. It was nowhere near that paw, it was in the bloody air. The wrong attack there. Getting a lot of crits, but he just has a crap ton of HP. No, I got stuck on it! You're basically screwed because you have to hit the fence to get through. It's another case where if you have a slow skull, you're basically done. At least I died to the boss and not a shitty enemy. He'll have more or less. He'll have less HP once there's actually more of the game in, I presume. We can't buy anything, so that's going to do it for the run.